Hi everybody, my name is Fran. I'm a registered nurse and a yoga therapist at Weill Cornell Medical Center in New York City. And thank you so much for joining me on this series of yoga classes. And special thanks to Vanessa Dudley for always putting this together for me. So let's just come to a comfortable seated position. Take your seat and sit well, claim your seat. And you can come to close your eyes and just come to focus on your breath. Just start to notice, come home, whatever it is you've been doing all day, just come home to your breath. And I found this lovely quote. Well, I did have a lovely quote, and I don't know where it went. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, let's see. All right. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, I rose this morning early as usual and went to my desk. But it's spring, and the thrush is in the woods, somewhere in the twirled branches, and he is singing. And so now I am standing by the open door, and now I am stepping down onto the grass. I am touching a few leaves. I am noticing the way yellow butterflies move together in a twinkling cloud over the field. And I am thinking, maybe just looking and listening is the real work. Maybe the world without us is the real poem. And that's by Mary Oliver. Let's take one deep breath in together and we'll chant one Om. Deep breath in. Om. Come to open the eyes. Just rock back and forth a little bit on whatever it is you're sitting on. You can go from side to side, front and back. Just start to wake up the hips, making circles. Okay. And then inhale, bring the arms up, relax the neck, just stretch up nice and long, and then exhale out to the side and down. So let's take a block a ball if you have one. And if you don't worry about it. Last week we did it. Don't use a lemon. I mentioned a lemon. That would probably not be good. So if you have a roll of toilet paper, that would work. So just take the ball. We're going to get into where we went last week, into the side of the hip, the glute medius, and maybe the glute minimus. So you're going to try to get in there on the side of the hip and just roll around. I've been doing a lot of this since we did this last week. And then just come to find one spot, just one little spot. So whatever side you're on, I'm on my left side, my left leg is straight, and I've got my right leg just bent out to the side. And I'm going to just stay here for a few seconds. So breathe into, find a spot. I found my spot right away. Find your spot and there's many of them. So just find one. Breathe into it. And then we're just going to lift the leg up and down, just a little bit. Okay. So you've got your leg just going up and down, the bottom leg up and down. It's amazing. And then hold it down. And then just come to the other side. And then we'll do the buttocks. We'll line on the back. So just come to the side again. Get it on the opposite side of where you were. You're on that forearm. And that bottom leg is straight. And find, oh boy, there you go. Hello. Okay, so just stay there. Breathe into it. Don't put all of your weight on it, but you know when to stop. This is not about self-flagellation. Just to wake up the tissue. That's what we're looking for. Now inhale, lift that bottom leg up and down. I just lifted it up for effect there so you can see. So just a little bit. You don't even have to bring it up that high. Oh, so we're just getting into the fascia, doing some myofascial release, and getting into the bottom, the middle and the bottom layers, and they glide over each other. So we're just hydrating these areas, very resilient tissues, and then bring it down, and then come up, and then come to lie again on your back, and bring your ball or the roll of toilet paper, and just put it under now the gluteus maximus, the big buttock muscles. Find one spot, and of course the other side is going to be on the floor. You can lift it up to bring the weight into the side where the ball is. Stay there for a breath or two or three, holding it, and then just make some circles, just in that one little area. It would be great to do a whole class like this. I need to get other balls. Everybody would have to have the right balls to use. It's just so wonderful. Maybe we'll do that. We'll have to order them together. And then take the ball out and come down. Notice the difference. And then bring the ball under the right. I'm sorry, the opposite side from me. And then find a spot. Don't let the other hip drop. That'll take the point out of it. You don't want to put too much weight in it, but you want to have some weight. Your feet are on the floor. And then rock around a little bit. And it's just so amazing to me that these tissues, that this can, this seemingly easy type of exercise can cause like this kind of tension that you really feel that tension underneath the superficial layers of the fascia. Once you get in there, it's like, holy moly, I didn't even know that was there. And then stop, take the ball out, hold the ball in your hands, and pause. Just notice. Woo, good. Now, come up from whatever side is right for you, and please take that ball and just put it someplace so you don't want to leave it on the floor, because you could so inadvertently step on that. Let's come to all fours, tabletop, and we'll do the inhale as we arch the lower back and look up, and then exhale, round and look down. Let the head and neck drop. Inhale to arch, exhale to round. Round according to your own, whatever is going on with your back. If you have osteoporosis, whatever is going on with you, round to whatever your body is allowing you to do, or what you should do, or should not do. Make some circles, and then go the other way. Good. And then come to stand on your knees. I'm going to use my couch here while it's there, just for balance. Now I'll bring both hands on my right thigh. I've got my back toes curled under. Going to lift the back knee up and then pop forward. Okay, so we'll do a few sun salutations just to warm up, and then we'll get into more specific poses. I'm going to just lift this up a little bit. Okay, whoops, that was too much. Okay. All right, so inhale, bring the arms up, and then exhale, float the hands in front of the knees, and then bring them up again. Inner neck is relaxed. Exhale down, so there's a little bounce to the knees, 2 little bounces up. Exhale down. One more time like this. Inhale up, and now we'll go down by the ankles, a little bounce here, and then come up. Keep the abdomen contained as you come up. Come down and bounce. Bring the navel back to the spine, especially when you come up. Protect your lower back. And one more time like this. Come on up. And now we'll stay down. So come into a forward bend. I bend my knees, and you can use your blocks here. So that's always a nice modification. So you can bend your knees or have your hands on the blocks. Now come into a flat back. The hands come just right at the top of the shins. And then exhale, come into your forward bend. Let the crown of the head look at the floor. Inhale into a flat back. And your nose is looking at the floor. Your chest is open, leading with your sternum. And then come back down. And then one more time like this. Inhale up and exhale down. Stay down. Just shake the head yes. Shake the head no. Nice and gently. And then if you have blocks there, just bring your right leg back, bringing your right knee down. And then you can keep your hands here, or you can bring your hands on your thighs. Relax, so you can see a little better. And just from here, bring the torso, bring the pelvis forward, and then bring your arms up. So the pinkies are looking at each other. Inhale. And then exhale, hands down to the floor, and come into a downward facing dog. So this is our first dog. So just pedal it out nice and easy. And then come to hold it. Push your hips as far away from your hands, and your hands are pressing into the floor and out. Your biceps are rolling up as your triceps are down. And the aim is for the thighs or for the chest to be going towards the thighs. Mine certainly don't touch. They're not going to touch. But that's the general direction. And the heels are moving down as the hamstrings are moving up. Now we'll inhale into plank. So you just slide your shoulders to be over your wrists, bring the knees down, and now we're going to come down sequentially. Lower down your thighs, lower down your pelvis, your ribs, your chest, and then your forehead. Bring your hands alongside your chest and come into baby cobra. Inhale, exhale, press into the floor, come back up, curl your toes under, and come back into another downward dog. Inhale, exhale, come into plank again. Stay here for a breath or two. Strong legs, really strong legs, strong core. And now bring the knees down and rise up. This time we'll bring the right leg forward. And just bring your hands on the thighs. If you don't want to do that, you can keep your hands on your blocks right alongside of you. Press into the thighs now to lengthen your spine, and now let the pelvis move forward. Bring the arms up. So there's this external rotation here. And the pinkies are looking at each other. As opposed to the thumbs looking at each other, this would be an internal, this is an external. And this is all free. Your neck is nice and free. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands back down to your blocks. And then lift your back foot up. Keep your back long. Bring the back foot into the front and come up with the flat back. Pause. And shake it out, and we'll do the other side. Come to your mountain pose. Where your feet, your legs, your pelvis, your spine, your chin. Opening the arms. Front of the head, reaching up to the heaven. Strong, solid pose. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Bring the hands down to the floor with the knees bent or to the block. Inhale, slide the hands to the upper shins for the flat back. Exhale, come on down. Shake the head yes. And then shake it no, very gently. Place the hands on the floor. And now take the left leg back. Bring the left knee to the floor and then rise up. Bring your hands to the right thigh. Get tall first. Push into the thigh to really create some traction in the spine. Inhale. And then exhale, lean forward. Take the arms down, put the palms out, and then bring the arms up. And breathe. Very joyful pose. Pose of gratitude, really. Inhale, and then exhale, bring your hands down. Come back to the knees, both knees, and then come into downward dog from the knees. You can pedal out again. And then hold. Actually bend both knees now. Hike your hips up into the sky so that the hands are pushing the hips away. Biceps are reaching up, and now with control, see how you can lower your heels to the floor. Mine don't touch the floor, but that's okay. The energy in the calves and heels is going to the floor, and the energy in my hamstrings is going up to the sitting bones where they attach. Inhale, exhale, and now inhale. Slide your torso. Your arms, your shoulders are on top of your wrists. Your arms are straight. Bring the knees to the floor. I'm going to walk my hands out just about 3 inches and come down sequentially. Lower down the thighs. Now lower down the pelvis. Keep the integrity in the upper body and your shoulders, your strength, rib cage, chest, and forehead. Prepare for cobra. Inhale. Lift the shoulders away, shoulder blades down, and your nose should be looking about pretty much towards the floor, maybe about 2 inches in front of you. Upper back is where we're targeting for cobra. Lift the hands off the floor just for a little extra work here. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the hands to the floor. Come back to tabletop and then come back to downward dog. Bend both knees again. Push the hands away from the hips. Engage your abdomen. Engage the pelvic floor. And now start to straighten your legs. Your ears are between your arms. Strong containment in this pose. Inhale. Exhale. Slide into plank. Bring the knees down. Rise up to kneel. Standing on the knees. And then I have this thing here, this couch. And I'm going to use it to help me bring my left foot forward. So whatever you have nearby you, use it. It's and then you can start to feel that you can build that balance up on your own. But if you have it, why not use it? So now pressing into my left thigh, and now coming forward with the pelvis, engaging the pelvic floor now, taking the arms out and lifting up. Outer arms, outer shoulders working, inner shoulders relaxed. Yin and the yang. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down, come to both knees, and now you'll decide which foot to come forward. We're going to come up. So now you'll bring your hands to whatever thigh that is, curl your back toes under, lift your back knee, and come forward and come back into mountain pose. Bring your hands in prayer and pause. Okay. Come back again to your mountain pose. Feel the elements of that pose. Just do that quick inventory up the body, that quick ascending inventory. Arms out, inhale up, and now we're moving to a different series. Bring the hands down. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, fold forward, and come into tabletop. Okay, I want to bring my notes over here. And I seem to have lost my glasses. Oh, here we go. Okay. So you're going to bring your right foot forward. Okay. Now, from here, so we've been doing this pose a lot. So proposal lunge, right? So here we can do it with the back thigh, the left thigh perpendicular to the floor, and then we can bring the thigh out on an angle as we bring our pelvis forward. So we increase the stretch here in the hip flexors. So now we're going to do a little isometric exercise. So you have your hands on your right thigh, isometrically, and you might even want to close your eyes to think about this. You want to bring the left knee is not moving, so it's an engagement, but it's not moving. The left knee towards the right foot. So it's just an engagement. It's not literal, it's not moving there, but there's an engagement. And then pause, come out of it, and then come back into it. So there's we're contracting, and now we're relaxing. So now we're contracting this isometric exercise by feeling that the left knee wants to go towards the right foot. And you should feel a whole bunch of muscle fibers on the inner, the adductors up to the pelvic floor, and then come back. So now we're going to come forward again and keep that containment and breathe. And I want you to think about the pubic bone to the tailbone as you lift, just 20% here. Just lift that tissue in between, very visual. The area between the two sitting bones, you lift, and then the area between the two hips, the transverse abdominis, there's a lift. So it's very, very subtle, the lift. It is very real, and by doing that isometric contraction helps to augment that feeling of lift. And then let it go, come back, and you can feel how that pelvic floor just goes back to your neutral. So now to engage it again one more time, let's come forward, use the isometric feeling of the left knee coming forward, and then come back. Okay, now the next pose is, I'm going to change this. So you're going to straighten out your right leg. So you're still on your left knee, and you're going to straighten out your right leg. Okay, so now here we go. We're going to see how I'm balanced. I don't feel quite so balanced today, so this is nice to have this here. So now I'm going to bring both hands here. Actually, let's use our blocks. That's what they're there for. If you have blocks, use them. You can use your toilet rolls or your paper towels. So I'm coming forward with a flat back. So I want to think about my shoulder blades on my back. I'm not rounding or hunching my shoulders. So I'm getting this beautiful long line in the back, long stretch in the back of the right leg, the entire right leg. I'm flexing my foot. It makes it a little harder than pointing, so you can do whatever's right for you. And now again with the isometric, your right heel is pressing into the floor, but you're imagining, you're engaging it to come back. You're isometrically pulling it back, and then let go. And you notice, maybe you don't, but you might notice an engagement of the pelvic floor when you do that isometric contraction, and then let it go. So contract, breathe though, and then release, and breathe. Contract, and breathe. So now we're going to contract again and think about those 3 visual points. Pubic bone to tailbone, sitting bone to sitting bone, hip bone to hip bone. Those 3 key points there. Think about engaging them, and then let go. On the let go, maybe you can flex it, or point it out, I should say, and then now flex it back, engage those 3 points. And then let it go. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, engage. And again, it's not this 100% thing. It's only about maybe 20%. Less is more. Hard to believe that, right? Less is more. And then let it go. Okay, so now we're going to come back up to proposal lunge. Okay, and now this time, so it's going to be the same shape, except looking this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my torso towards the left, towards the long edge of the mat. My right toes are still pointing out, and I've swung my left calf back. So hopefully you can all see that. Okay, so it's that same pose, but it's just on a different angle now, a different plane. I'm going to take my right forearm on the right thigh, and then I'm going to take my left arm up and over the left ear. Now see if you can do that contraction and relaxing again here. So contract and relax. Contract with 3 points, pubic to tailbone, sitting bone to sitting bone, hip bone to hip bone. And then release, contract, move into the stretch a little bit more. This is a side stretch. And then release, and one more time. Contract those 3 areas, and then release. Come back to just be facing normal, neutral, normal. Just to the side, and then bring the hands down, and bring the hands down to start over by the right foot. So I feel a pretty intense stretch here, the right upper inner calf, thigh, and then I'm going to go out a little bit further, and I have to be careful not to round. And then I'm going to come to the middle. And now I'm going to bring my left hand to the outside of my left thigh, and I'm going to bring this block with me. It's going to help me. So I've got this block right on the outside, maybe about 6 inches away, and I'm going to put it up the long way to start. Now let's stretch out. Let's straighten the right leg. And we've got our hands. I've got my fist actually on the top of the block. Take your right arm out and up, and then actually take your entire right foot to the floor and reach your arm up. My toes are sort of out on a diagonal. See if you can engage those 3 points of the core. Pubic bone, tailbone, sitting bone, hip bone, hip bone. See if you can do it without gripping, without over-efforting, and while still maintaining a smooth and steady breath. So we'll do it in a little contraction. So inhale to contract, exhale to release. Inhale to contract, exhale to release. Inhale to contract, all 3, and exhale to release. Bring that arm down, come on up, and then turn around and come into a quick child's pose. Just a quick child's pose, just to release any tension that may have built up. You can have the knees open up wide, the feet together, and still your torso out. Okay, come on up, and we'll do the same thing now on the left side. So we're here kneeling. We're going to bring the left foot forward and just bring your hands on the left side. So first thing is we're just going to get tall. We want to feel the right femoral up and down, perpendicular to the floor. See when you push into the thigh, how your spine raises up, rises up. Inhale. Exhale now. Let the torso come forward from here, the hip crease. The pelvis is tilting forward. Now, to keep this containment or to augment this containment even more, think about this isometric contraction in the right thigh as it's moving energetically towards the left foot. And then let it go. Energy contract, energy let go. Energy to contract, let it go. Now, contract with the 3 points. Pubic to tail, sitting bone to sitting bone, hip to hip. And now let go. Isometric plus 3 points. Contract. Exhale, let go. 2 more times, like that, on your own. 1 more time. Contract with that isometric, very subtle. And then let go. Okay. Now I've got my blocks here. So I'm going to bring them to the side. And they're under my hands. I'm going to straighten my left leg out, and I'm going to, let's just point and flex it for a little bit. I'm going to move back so you can see that foot. Just point and flex just to wake it up a little bit. And then you could keep it pointed or you could keep it flexed, whatever is right for you. So I like to use my fists too, because that ensures that I'm not over-rounding my back. So now let's think about the isometric contraction in the left heel. So contract it isometrically and then let it go. Don't do anything. Just be contract it and then let it go. Contract. Now just by that one contraction, you can feel the pelvic floor lifting. So when you contract, the adductors start to get involved when you do that isometric contraction and it affects your pelvic floor. They're attached there too. And then relax. Now we're going to contract isometrically with the 3 points. Hip to tail, sitting to sitting, hip to hip. Inhale, exhale, release. Inhale, contract. Exhale, release. Inhale to contract. Exhale to release. 1 more time. Inhale to contract. Hold it up. Keep that containment. So good to work on these pelvic floor and core muscles for integrity. And then let it go. Good. Okay, now come back to proposal, lunge. Okay. And now this time, just come up. We're going to start to turn this way. So it's the same pose, but we're turning towards the right long edge of the mat. Okay, now take your left forearm on your left thigh. So it's like a side angle pose. Bend your right elbow, bring your hand by your ear, your right hand by your right ear, and then shoot that right arm up and out over your right ear. Keep the left hand active and keep the pelvic floor contained in those 3 spots. It's funny, once I started getting used to those 3 spots, it was very different from the way I used to do pelvic kind of contractions. And it's a very different, much more subtle, and much more on the energetic, subtle body than anything I've ever done before. It's very effective. It's very good for women who've had babies or women who are menopausal. So keep contracting and then relax. Contract, relax, contract, relax, contract, and relax. Okay, come back up. And now take the hands out by the left foot and just keep the hands here. You can walk them out in front of you. You can walk them to the middle. Walk them over to the side. And then walk your right hand over to the right knee, and I'm going to bring this block over here. And now I'm leaning my right hand in the block on my side, and I'm going to take the left leg out, lift my left arm, and then extend over. Now, even with the legs apart from each other, see how you can engage those 3 points. Just an exploration. Not as easy to do or not as obvious when the legs are closer together. It's definitely doable. Inhale, exhale, bring the hand back to the left waist, rise up, and then come back to tabletop and come into another child's pose. And rest, come back to recalibrate, recover in order to move on. All righty. So now we're going to come to stand, and we're going to do a little balancing series. So this is the chair pose, Utkatasana. We've done it before. Sometimes I do it with blocks between the feet, between the thighs, but today we're going to do it a little different, and you'll see why. So your feet are, keep them together. I think it's better to keep them together for this. So now hands on the waist, and now you're going to come to your mountain pose. So I want to go through the elements of that. It's very easy to just jump, but it's so important to stay grounded through those elements. Where are your feet, your legs, pelvis. Lift the spine up, chin parallel, arms open, and then hands here. So it's always good to commit, to recommit, recommit, recommit. Like drinking water, you just always want to recommit to your mountain pose. Inhale, exhale, bend your knees. Now see if you can bring the weight into your heels, and then your hips will go back. You can bring your arms out like this, or like this. Now I'm already arching my lower back, so I have to lift my pubic bone up and readjust. So this is a wonderful pose for building strength in the legs and moving lymphatic tissue and lymphatic fluid edema back into the thoracic system, the thoracic duct. So now we're going to inhale. It's going to be a little balance and strength, and then bring the right knee up. As you bring the right foot out, keep the left knee bent. You keep your hands here or out, whatever's best for you. So it's a little balancing. Now, take your right leg back. Fix your gaze somewhere. It'll keep you very focused. The toes can touch the floor. Come back up. Notice if you're holding tension in your neck. And then bring the right foot out in front. The toes can touch the floor. Just a kiss. And then back up. Keep that knee up. Woo. And now take your right ankle. And if you fall up, you come back. It's no big whoop. You take the right ankle on the left thigh. Flex the right ankle. Fix your gaze. It'll really help you. Stay steady. Then bend your left knee, coming forward from the hip crease. Stay here. Engage your pelvis. Engage your pelvic floor and core. That really will help stabilize you too. Flex the right foot. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Bring the hands down, and then with control, bring that foot down. And just pause for a second, and then shake it out. So good for bone density and balance and strength and coordination, all those things. Okay, so Utkatasana, chair pose. Left side will come into the pose first, and then we'll do that work on the left leg. Come to hold your pose. So it's like a zigzag. Feet are together. My knees are bent, and I'm coming forward from the hip crease. Not from here, not from the back. So it's like a Z or W, I don't know. And then whatever way you like your hands, see, as soon as I brought my hands up, I could see I arch my back. So just notice that, bring your front ribs in, restrain your front ribs, tailbone going down, pubic bone up. Shift your weight into the heels. And now, if you can keep the right knee bent, take the left leg out to the side. So the toes are just barely touching the floor. Now, take the left leg out to the back. Use your core. Come back to center. And now straighten the left leg out in front. Just barely touch, kissing the floor with your left toes. Come back to center. Come up. Take your left ankle. Place it on your right thigh. Fix your gaze. Bend your right knee as you come back down. A great pose for opening up the piriformis, which helps with some, if you have sciatica symptoms. And breathe. Engage your pelvic floor. Engage the core. Woo! Flex the left foot. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise up. And exhale. Bring that foot down. Pause for 1 second. Well, I kind of get a cardiovascular workout too, just because I'm talking. So that's good. Okay, so next thing is, okay. This is fun. Okay. So, come to stand at the back of your mat. Mountain pose, do your quick inventory, do your thing, and then bring your right leg forward. Now, take your left leg back and come into crescent. So you're on the ball of the left toes. The left heel is up in the air. Okay? So the left foot is not, the whole foot is not on the floor, just the ball of the toes. Okay, we'll come into crescent, whatever version you like. The more you straighten that back leg, the more you're going to feel that in your hip flexors. So nice long line in the body, the side body's reaching up, outer shoulders working, inner shoulders relaxed. Okay, right foot is planted onto the floor. Engage those 3 points. Pivot bone to tailbone, sitting bone to sitting bone, hip to hip. Like there's a little string that you're just making taut in all those 3 places. Okay, inhale, exhale, bring your hands on your hips. And now shift your weight by bringing your torso forward, of course, from the hips, from the hip joint. You're going to start to shift and all of your weight onto your right foot. The left leg comes up, we're coming into warrior 3. You're going to look down at the floor, so your nose is looking down. The back knee is pointing towards the floor. Balancing. You fall, who cares? You're at home. You're not going to hurt yourself. You just get back up. I shouldn't say who cares. We don't care. Just don't hurt yourself. So, warrior 3, I always feel like Superwoman, flying over the world. Now, really strong. I can feel this in my right leg now. Now, I'm going to bring that left knee back in front of me, and I'm taking my right hand to the outside of the left thigh. Left foot is flexed. I'm going to take my left arm out. If you don't twist, don't twist. If you twist, we're going to move our head and start looking over towards the left arm. And if you fall out, you fall out. You come back as many times as you need to. Engage the core. Inhale. Exhale. Release the leg. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your arms down. Oi. Feel that, huh? Shake it out. Okay. Come into the back of the mat again. Come to your mountain pose. Quick inventory. Ascending inventory. Hands on the hip. Take the left leg out. Nice, good step. And then bring your right leg back and come onto the ball of the back toe. So the right heel is up. Bend your front knee. Front knees at a 90-degree, or it doesn't have to be 90 degree with the thigh, but actually it's right on top of the left ankle and in the direction of the second and third toe. Back leg is straight. Feel that in the hip flexors here on the right side. Turn the palms out and then lift the palms up. Come into your version. This is one of my favorite poses. Neck is relaxed. This is going up, your outer shoulders up, this is coming down. So again, with the yin and the yang, right? You can look to where the ceiling and the wall meet and engage those 3 points. With a little string, you're just taking 20% apart. That's it. Few more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, now bring your hands to your head. Now start to lean forward as you shift your weight into the left leg. And as you do so, that left leg is going to straighten and you're going to bring the right leg up and fix your gaze someplace. Flex the back foot. The back knee is pointing towards the floor. So it's not rotating out. Toes are pointing towards the floor too. Pull it in, those 3 strings. Super women. Flying over the world. Inhale, and now bring that right knee up. Take a hold of the outer part of your right thigh with your left hand. Open up your right leg. Stay here if you don't twist. Keep the right foot flexed. Inhale, and then exhale. Turn to look over towards the right. And the right arm can go back to lead the twist even more. Pull the belly in, belly pull in. Lots of things. Inhale. Woo! Exhale. Come out very elegantly. And then bounce it out. Ooh. And relax. Okay. So, gosh, I can't believe it's almost an hour already. Okay, so now we've done all this work here. I'm feeling it in here. So we're going to go into pigeon. So we did pigeon on Friday, but we did a restorative version of pigeon. So now we're going to do it. But, you still can have a pillow or a blanket. So have whatever you need. One of those 2 things to give you support on the outer edge of your head. So we're going to come into it a little differently. So now we're going to get, this pose is a yin and yang too. Okay, come to your tabletop. Have your blanket nearby. From tabletop, slide your right knee towards your right hand. So you can see how my right knee is pretty much right at the same level as my right wrist. Now very gently, just come to sit on your right hip and just very gently bring that right foot over just a little bit. I can't go too far with it either. So for me, the goal is for people who can do this, really, I don't want to say well, but the classic way is that the calf would be parallel to the front of the mat. I'm nowhere near that, so for me, my right heel comes directly into my left groin. So that's where I am in terms of my hips. Maybe I can shimmy a little bit more, but that's it. It would put too much torque on my knee to do that, and I'm not interested in that. So now I'm going to take this right hip is a lot tighter than my left. So you can see I took this blanket, and now I just propped my hip up just to give me enough support. And you can stay here and just think about lifting up from the pubic bone up through the throat. So you're not rounding, you're not hunching, you're opening up the chest. And let's just all stay here. And if you want to stay here, you can. That's what makes yoga so good. It's totally adaptable. You can put your hands on blocks here if you want. Now, I'm going to just move my hands out a little bit further. This is another good place to stay, and you can notice my back is not rounding. Now, if you are feeling anything in your knees, come out. There's no need to do this. Come out. You can do the, you can come into child's pose. We did the number 4, which is the lying down version. We did that standard. So you've already done this when we brought the knee over the, when we brought the ankle over the knee while we were standing. Now bring your forearm down. So go into these things really nice and slow and methodically and intelligently, giving the body the respect and intelligence that it deserves. And then I'm going to take both fists, and then I'm going to bring my forehead to both fists. Breathe. Send your breath to that right hip. And again, if this is too much for your knees, come out. And then what I like to do is just to eventually end up with the hand on the hand, and then I bring my forehead down and I totally relax. Relax as best as you can. Send your breath into that right hip, and your left knee is pointing towards the floor. That too is not going to the neck. Breath in, and on your next exhale, use your hands to come up. Pause. And very carefully curl your back toes under. Lift your back knee, and just come into tabletop again. Move it out a little bit. You can even straighten the right leg out to the side. Bring your right hand on the right thigh. Take your left arm up and come over. Just to let it get some. Come back to the rest of the world. Okay. So again, now we'll start from tabletop to do the other side. Inhale. Exhale, slide your left knee towards your left wrist. And then pause. Now, if you want to, you can just sort of shimmy. That's what I do. I shimmy the foot forward. But if that's not good for you, you can come to lie on the side, on your left hip, and then very gently just bring the foot a little bit forward, and then come back. And then see where that brings you. For me, again, it's my left heel is in the right one. So that's symmetrical. All right, now I'm going to bring my blanket under the left hip, and we'll stay here. And I just want to show you that you can use your blocks here. You can get a little bit of a back bend. That back leg is pointing, it's as if you were standing on it, except the toes are not, the whole foot is flat. So the knee is pointing into the floor, not rotating out or in. So I'm pressing into the floor with my blocks. Step 1, good for you, you stay with it. Second step, bring your hands to the floor. You can feel that stretch up the pubic bone through the abdomen too, into the whole layers of the abdominal cavity, up through the thoracic, into right underneath the shoulders, into the arms, and then you can come out a little bit. Sit here. Keep that containment though, so it's so easy to let go of the abdomen and the pelvic floor. Only 20% though, so it's not asking a lot. I forget too. All right, and now come down. You come down to the forearms. This feels good. This is really nice actually. But it might not be nice for someone else, so adjust accordingly. Don't be just, you're the expert in your body. Now we're going to make this, if this is right for you, 2 fists on top of each other. And then the forehead to the foot. Keep that containment in the pelvic floor and your abdomen. And now you can let go of the containment if you're going to bring your head down. Just relax. Use this as a relaxation pose. You can, I like the hand, like you can do a little. Notice if you're gripping anywhere that you don't need to be gripping. Notice if your eyes, your lips, your forehead, your shoulders. Send your breath to your left foot. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and then on the exhale, push up, pause, come back, make your way to be on your knees. Take your left leg out now, pause, come back, left hand, left thigh, right arm up, and swap down, just to the degree that you're able. And up, and then come back down. So, we're ready for our relaxation pose, and let's come to lie on the floor. If you have blankets, roll a blanket, put that under your knees, and you can use a pillow for your head. You can use another blanket underneath your ankles if you have it. And then if you want to put something on top of you, your body is going to cool down now. You did some really good strengthening and balancing work today, and stretching. And just come to lie. Thanking your body, thanking your mind, thanking yourself for showing up for your yoga practice today. It's a nice way to end the day. It's a great way to start the day, but it's a great way to end the day too. Feel as if you are taking up a lot of real estate. Feel like you're just spreading out on the floor. Like an ice cube melting in a warm glass of water. Let your next exhale be very, very long. And the next in-breath, very deep. Move your body any way that it needs to. Ask it, what do you want? What can I do for you? Nice to have that kind of relationship with our body. And then come to lie on whatever side is right for you. Pause there, breath with you, asking yourself, what's one thing that you love about yourself? And then come up, and do again, bring it to seated position, noticing the change or sensations in your body, and then letting your mind rest, connecting the dots between body, mind, and spirit. And we'll bring up hands and breath for our calm response. May we have a peaceful mind, an easeful body, and a useful body. Namaste, everybody.